All right, welcome everybody to Daryl and Boo's weekly update. You got Daryl and Boo here. Daryl, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Obviously, I think everybody sees how poor the air quality is and smoky outside. So I didn't do a lot of anything too exciting outside. But yeah, it's a particularly exciting weekend for me. I'm a big NFL fan, and in particular, a big Seattle Seahawks fan. So it was the opening day for the Seahawks and most of the other teams around the NFL. So I watched the Seahawks go on to victory. So that was good. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it was, we were out mountain biking yesterday morning and we did 2 runs and had to leave. You could kind of start to feel the effect of the smoke in your throat there. And then besides that, went to IKEA twice this weekend, which is already not my top place to go. And then also really not my top place to go on a weekend.
Yeah.
And just with them controlling the flow of people going in, it was like a huge lineup to get in there in the first place. But we're looking at these wardrobes to kind of rearrange things. So I've mentioned before, my wife is going to be doing homeschooling for the kids. So not just not virtual school that the school board offers, but actual homeschooling. And so taking a bigger role in that. So we're cutting out the walk-in closet in our bedroom, turning it into an office space for her, and then going to move all of our clothes out into these wardrobes out in the bedroom. There's a bunch of space in there anyways that we could use. And so they have these wardrobe systems, and so we went and looked at them, and then we're like, okay, there's these planning system workstations that you can sit in there, but we figured, okay, we'll go home and online, they have the same workstation planning set up on there. So we go home and I pull it up, and the first thing I notice is it's trying to load Adobe Flash, and then also gives a warning that says Adobe Flash is going to be end of life by the end of the year. And I'm like, how can IKEA, this huge furniture company, have an app that's based on Adobe Flash, and then finally wrestling with it, get it going, and it's just unusable. So I had to that was on the Saturday. So basically had to go again yesterday, which was even busier, IKEA on a Sunday. And then the guy at the workstations came by, asked me if I needed help, and just with like 30 seconds worth of clicks, actually figured out how to use the planning system, since he does it all day. Then I have another mess with that. Like I basically realized that we couldn't have the height of the wardrobes that we wanted because we have sprinklers on that wall. So now we're going to have to get the lower height one. Going to go back into that planner. Well, first of all, I ordered it, so now I have to figure out how to cancel it. And I've been on hold for about 45 minutes, just listening to hold music. So that's been a frustrating morning so far. And then have to redo the planning system once I get that order canceled. So anyways, besides that, didn't go out too much because of the smoke, besides going out mountain biking there and turning around after a bit.
Yeah. I made a vow to my wife several years ago that I would never go to IKEA again in my entire life, and that time I haven't. So I'm holding true to that. If she wants to order something, I'd gladly go pick it up at the loading dock. Plus the tribulations of building stuff. She ordered we've got storage beneath our house, and so my wife ordered a wine rack, not a super expensive wine rack. I can't remember where she ordered it from, but you had to build it. When it came, I'm like, if there's such a thing as a handyman, I'm the opposite of a handyman, whatever that is. But I thought, okay, how difficult could it be to build a wine rack? This is, got to be maybe a 45-minute job. I took it out back, and this particular one was was a combination of wood, and then the back frame was kind of tin, very thin tin strips. And instead of screws, it was nails that went into this very, I would say, inexpensive wood. And the tin was literally like, could bend it like rubber. And you had, I think, 68 nails that you had to get into this. Needless to say, after 15 minutes, it was in a ball thrown back into the package. So another one has shown up. I haven't opened it up yet. Different style. I think this one is all wood. So I'm going to be building that sometime this week. So I'll take it.
Maybe they've been sending you faulty product
My entire life, right? I think that's the thing that had nothing to do with my skill. It's just I've had a bad run of faulty product. But this one, I will. I'll take a picture. It's either going to be a finished wood wine rack or a pile of wood sitting out in my backyard, ready to be turned into kindling or something. But
we'll look for an update on the next week's show then.
Yeah, I'll have a photo.
But you figure, they produce probably billions of products, so there's got to be a few faulty ones that get out there. And
they all go to me. It's I don't know. It's either a conspiracy or just extraordinarily bad luck.
Yeah. Well, speaking of smoke, we've got a return guest on, Jill Durand, and Jill actually resides in Oregon. So, we can talk to Jill and get an update on how things are looking down there. Hello, Jill. Oh, you're on mute.
That I am. Hello.
How's it going today?
Just fabulous. Just fabulous. I was giggling in the background because Daryl, I am the handy woman. I am bring me a kit and I will build it all day long. And so, yeah.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about a nice trip to Vancouver?
Well, if I could travel, sure, I'd love to. I'd love to get out of Oregon. I'm going stir crazy.
Yeah. So is everybody staying inside there?
For the most part, yeah. It's the smoke, or actually the ash, is as thick as fog. Looks like fog outside. Right now with how gray and dark it is, I think that it was probably a November morning, not a September morning. And I was at a friend's house yesterday that had just moved, and we just walked around her yard a bit. She was wearing flip-flops, and we came back and her feet were just coated in soot, and it was like, oh, gross.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. So how close are the fires to where you are?
25 to 30 miles. So let's see, Thursday afternoon entered level 2, be prepared, which there's 3 levels. I don't know if you guys have, at least, around here, there's level 1, be cautious, level 2, be prepared, and level 3, go now. And so we moved into level 2 on Thursday and then left level 2 Saturday night, but we have friends and family that were in level 3, leave now. And my brother-in-law, he lives in Estacada, which there's a really big one right there. And he and his friends have stayed around, and somebody had an old water truck, and they've been driving to each other's properties, putting off hot spots and stuff. Because the firemen are fighting the big fires. They can't get to all the little hot spots around. So
wow.
Yeah, it turned into volunteer firefighters over the weekend.
Yeah, you got to do what you have to, I guess, and be creative. Yeah,
Yep.
it's tough. Sorry, Boo, are you in a suburb? I've never asked you, Jill. Suburb of Portland, or?
Yeah. Okay. About 20 miles from downtown Portland.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
the fires then would be about 40 miles from like downtown Portland.
And the evacuation process for the folks who have to, is it causing crazy traffic issues or anything like that, or is it relatively?
Yeah, it did on Thursday. Pardon me. On Thursday, when they had called for the level 3 evacuation. Town called Malala and an area called Malino. They aren't big towns. They're small country towns, but all of the people leaving there was really only one way for them to go. They couldn't go south because there is a bigger fire south of them. And so they could only go north, and that was through Oregon City, which is where I live. And so it was just traffic jam. They were talking about people saying, 45 minutes an hour to get a mile.
Wow.
And the news at one point actually kind of said, hey, level 2 people, which, that's the group I was in. Please stay home. Let the level 3 people that have to get out, get out. Because I did know a lot of people that, were level 2 and left as well. But they're like, hey, wait, these people have to get out. You guys wait a bit if you could. So
yeah, crazy stuff.
It is.
What a year.
Never had anything like this. I mean, lived here my entire life and never had anything this close.
Yeah,
pretty crazy. I was gonna say the guy that had the water truck, his wife was probably like, why are you keeping this old thing around here? And now he's going to say, hey, you know what? You are so lucky that I kept this water truck around.
Yeah. Well, I would say he probably uses it. These are, Estacada is in the country, and a lot of people with farms and tree farms. So Christmas trees. I mean, Estacada is one of the big areas for Christmas trees. So I'm sure that water truck was, had something to do with water in the fields. But, that was another thing they're trying to, some of these people, it's their livelihood. They make all their money on Christmas trees, and that's what they, do all year long. It's just focus on that. So
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Sounds like a beautiful place, though. These little towns on the outskirts. Yeah, I've been to Portland and a few of the surrounding cities, but not traveled extensively through Oregon. But it sounds really pretty.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Jill, the last time that you were on here, you were actually one of our very first guests on here, and way back then, that was a pre-recorded show, like the old school Daryl and Boo. People can visit the archives too. Like I do every once in a while, and it is kind of fun to see, like, how we were super awkward back then, and now we're only partially awkward when we jump on camera now.
And your guests really awkward?
No, never. I always edit the guests so that they look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
But now everybody's live, so this is on you. If you look awkward, it's your own thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. You guys look comfortable now. I look awkward.
Yeah. So when we had you on before too, you were kind of a couple months into your role. You'd been at F5 for a while, but a couple months into your role in cloud services. Now you've had a few more quarters under your belt, and we're already seeing, in British Columbia here, just a spike in the amount of people that are interested in cloud services. Maybe we can chalk that up to just the services being, way more developed. They've been around for about a year or maybe a year and a half at this point, but things seem like they're picking up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are, most definitely. It's a little over a year. We've added some new features to the different products since our last conversation, and they're really definitely starting to take some hold, especially Essential App Protect, that as people struggle with WAF, what to do, where to go, and vulnerabilities keep popping up. I mean, just last week, WordPress had another major vulnerability, and how do you take care of all of these things? And I always said, the WAF is, all firewalls are locks to your front door, and sometimes you just need to be able to lock it while you clean the house. And that's what happens with the vulnerability. You need to be able to lock the door so people can't exploit it while you fix things on the back end.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's really easy to spin up too. I think some people are finding it maybe just getting surprised in that they can spin up a WAF instance really quickly. And what we didn't have before too was a Canadian presence for this. So that's new in the last couple months here, is that we can spin up essential app protect instances in Canada, so people can keep their data sovereign.
Yes. Yeah, that was something that it doesn't take us long to turn it up. We just needed, a reason, and we went out and did that. And so, a couple customers or prospects at the time, they said they needed it or would like it, and so we put it on the list. And 2 weeks later, we had Canadian presence. So that was awesome.
Yeah, exciting stuff. And now seeing many live demos with customers over the last 4 or 5 months. It's nice to see that the solution or the service is actually just improving all the time and kind of in real time. It's seemingly every couple of weeks a new feature is added. And I know that was the plan from the outset, but it's really kind of cool to see it kind of evolve over the last 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that so much. I mean, like you said, Boo, I've been around for a while, been with F5 for 8 years, and got great technology. And a new version of Big IP comes out, and great new features, but then nobody takes advantage of them for a while because they want to wait and see bug fixes, have it around for a while, put it in test and dev, and really work its paces before they put it in production. But with Essential App Protect and everything in cloud service, a new feature is there, and boom, you get it the day of. Just a couple weeks ago with a customer, one example of that was IP filtering. So they wanted to whitelist a handful of IPs, but still protect them. Just move past the malicious IP zone, but still check for other vulnerabilities that might be happening in case those IPs get compromised. And boom, that feature was released on a Friday, and they were able to use it on Friday.
Yeah.
So that's fabulous.
And just patching in general also. I mean, everybody's kind of keenly aware of the CVE that F5 uncovered several months ago, and our customers have, vast majority have patched and they're just fine. But again, another nice thing about cloud services is the patching is just kind of done in the back end, and updates are done in for you. You don't really have to try and catch up all the time and make sure your devices are kept up to date. Everyone's struggling for time and resources. So
yes, most definitely. Yeah, let us take care of that. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we've got Beacon. So we recently had on Hitesh, and we talked through what the ins and outs of. Well, I wouldn't say ins and outs. I'm actually going to have either Hitesh or Adele come on and kind of go through Beacon at a deeper dive. But we talked through the need for something like Beacon, overall app visibility and insights, providing business value once you can start to have a grasp of all of those things. Global DNS, global server load balancing. But then something that's coming out pretty soon here will be primary DNS as well, which I think when people saw the global DNS, they thought, okay, this makes sense because we can pull off the GTM or DNS feature off of our big IP and move it into this scenario. But a lot of people still had the primary DNS that could run off of there as well. So it kind of just made natural sense. So we've recently had a chat with the customer where we had on the product manager for primary DNS. But I think that'll be cool once that comes out as well, and kind of completes the picture of, lifting and shifting your F5 DNS out into F5 running it for you.
Yeah, it's all stuff I'm so excited about. We're just a couple of weeks away from having that in early access, and then just a couple months away from it being general availability. So it's good excitement, that's for sure.
Moves quickly. I like too that when we can talk about roadmap on cloud services, it's like, hey, it's, you know, pretty close, like a couple months away. Whereas when we speak to customers about big IP roadmap, if the product manager comes on and says, okay, here's the vision for it, and you know what, we have this release that comes out in 6 months, and we have this other release that comes out in 12 months, and so you'll see it in either half a year or a year from now. Whereas when we have roadmap discussions around cloud services, it's like, yep, that's coming out next week, next month, at the most, maybe 2 months away. But you know, we don't have to talk about these future things that could take a different direction, you know, after that roadmap phone call, and you know, not something that we have to track, but we just know that it's going to come out pretty quick.
Yeah, it's I don't know, completely different world, and completely exciting. So, you know, you get in there, and I've had a couple of conversations with people that had some different requirements. You know, somebody around DNS load balancer, they have multiple CDNs, and DNS load balancer focused on IP address originally. And with CDNs, your IP addresses are moving. And so, you know, we heard that from a couple different customers and put it into the development cycle. And now there's an option there. And so, you know, can focus on CDAME and be able to have it wherever you need it. So that's great. Yeah, we hear things from customers, and we can make a shift and reprioritize and get things out.
Yeah, and it's also important to note. I mean, that's why I think it's fairly obvious, but all these solutions are built on big IP. So we talk about big IP as almost like legacy when we talk about cloud service, but we're not building cloud services from scratch. We're taking all the good, rich services that we've developed over the last 2 decades with F5 and really just providing a different way for the customers to consume it. So it's largely the same technology, not exactly the same, but you know, for those customers who have relied on F5 for so many years, you know, they can feel comfortable that they're still getting all of that, you know, all that goodness that they've come to rely on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, Essential App Protect, that's a good example of that. It has the same foundation. It's been built by the team that worked on ASM, you know, shift of priorities, and go, you know, build something microservices and leaner and meaner and, you know, more agile. And then, but, you know, still takes the underlying thing. So a signature that is built for ASM is the same signature that is in Essential App Protect and Nginx App Protect as well. So, you know, it's single resource, you know, doesn't matter where and how you're utilizing it.
Yeah. In 15 minutes to kind of get up and deployed, Boo did a, you know, kind of recorded a demo of just spinning up EAP a few weeks ago, which I've shared with a few customers. But you can see it's from start to finish. You can actually have this thing up and live and working and blocking bad guys literally in real time. So yeah, we're pretty excited about this. I think I've said this before when you're originally on, where, you know, Boo and I have been here for a long time too. We know we have a great, you know, we have the best web app firewall in the world, but just the customer's ability to get it deployed and manage it ongoing has just been, you know, has been a challenge. So we're excited to see kind of where this goes over the next couple of years and get this in the hands of as many of our customers as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will. I'll post that again here. I don't think I actually posted it beyond releasing it on our channels as well. I think I just posted it to LinkedIn to our newsletter. So I'm going to post that out again just to get everybody up and running on there. So EAP, Essentials App Protect, is a 15-day trial. Beacon is a 45-day trial, I believe, and then the DNS stuff has a free tier that people get to play with, right?
Well, and it also has a trial.
Okay.
The DNS products have a free trial of 15 days, and then they have the free tier as well. And so great ways to get in. And actually, just last week, we launched a new simulator page.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so we have at simulator.f5.com, you can go in, and right now there's 6 use cases on there. There'll be a beacon one out in shortly. They're just finishing it off. And it's, how to set up DNS, how to do a couple of different global load balancing scenarios, how to set up Essential App Protect. So, walks everybody through it. Click here, click there. And it can even be used as a deployment guide, have it running in this field and have it running in that field. Okay, now this is the one I click, and then that's the one I click. So,
yeah. Speaking of that, we're used to these, and I think we're very proud of the deployment guides that F5 has kind of kept up over the years. Very, very detailed, up-to-date deployment guides. So for customers who want to deploy F5 on their own, they can actually go in and use our deployment guides. But pretty cool that we can have a couple of minute clip that can act as your deployment guide for cloud services versus a 35, 40 page document.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You get lost in the reading.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. So we just got 1 minute left, so we'll wrap up. And I'll mention to everyone as well, it's not cloud services, but this week on Booze Hour, I'll have on John Callalang, so another Oregon resident. And we just have a number of updates on the cloud side of things that we have to go through. So that'll be something for everyone to look forward to. I will post the Essential App Protect demo that I put together. It just walks everybody through how to spin this thing up. I think it's about 7 minutes long, and you can literally have one of these things up and running. And then the link to the simulator as well. So lots of fun stuff. People can try all this stuff out for free. There's no credit card or anything that you have to put in, I believe, for the trial or anything like that. You can just play with it for 15 days or for Beacon for 45 days. And then off you go. So, yeah. Thanks for coming on, Jill. Thank
you for having me.
Hopefully everything's safe with you. And we can see the fires die down pretty soon here. So,
thank you. Yes.
Very cool. All right. Thanks a lot, folks. We will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Jill.
Thanks.
Thanks for checking this out today. If you're watching via YouTube right now, go ahead and click subscribe down below. Also click the bell for notifications. That way you will find out when we are dropping a new video or when we're going live. Also, there's darylandboo.com. If you head over to that, leave your name and email address, we will drop a weekly technical newsletter in your inbox every Monday. Also, this is available via podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify. Head over to one of those, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to listen to us in the car on your commute or during a walk or a run. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.